We've been waiting to see whether there would be a lot of layoffs coming because the economy is slowed, because of the tariffs, because of other economic policies. And we may be starting to see that turning point. It's been slower than anticipated. The question is, how many of these are actually in the United States and how many of them are going to be carried out in the near future? The Challenger numbers came out today. The biggest jump since 2003, biggest number of layoffs announced in October. But that, again, it's just announcements. So we have to wait and see how this plays out. And when you look at some of the companies like Amazon, with all the layoffs they announced, they still gave people 90 days notice. So you won't see this show up in any data for a couple of months.
Okay, so I think Jay Powell and others had characterized this labor market as a low hire, low fire. Is it morphing into something different, like a low hire, a pickup in fire?
Well, that's what the Fed wants to know, and we don't have good ways of tracking that other than maybe the initial jobless claims. Each state puts them out, so we get them at 4:30 p.m. today, and we will adjust them for seasonals and things like that, and have a pretty good idea of roughly where.
Wait, this is separate from the weekly jobless claims that comes out by the government.
This is the data that goes into the weekly jobless claims, but the Labor Department is not tallying it now and not adjusting it. We do that ourselves. We can't call DoorDash to come do that for us. So we do that, and we'll have a pretty good idea of what the numbers are. And last week was 218,000, so it was nothing. So if there is a turning point, it's not showing up in the data yet. Now, you might see a change in unemployment, except that there's no unemployment report on Friday. So,
all right. Well, the good friends, we have a Capital Economics. They just dropped a research note in my inbox, and the question is, why is hiring soft despite resilient GDP? Their answer is lower immigration, increased use of AI, and cyclical weakness outside of the main tech sectors are the key reasons for the slowdown in private sector hiring this year. That doesn't seem like anything that can turn around on a dime. It just feels like some of those things are a little bit more longer term.
Well, and none of it is anything that the Fed can do anything about. You can cut interest rates, but all that means is it costs you less to buy into AI and get rid of people. So that's part of the debate, is what are they going to do about it? Can they do anything about it? Is it worth it to cut? Because they want to stimulate demand by cutting interest rates, but if demand doesn't increase employment, it doesn't do any good. Challenger made essentially the same point in terms of the layoffs, that a lot of it is AI, the slowing economy, and they also say Doge, but they're counting in the government layoffs that hit in October for the first time really into the data. So there's a lot going on in the jobs area, but the question is, can anything fix it at this point, or are we going to just have to go through
a cycle?
Exactly.
You know, if I go to EcoGo on the Bloomberg terminal, you still have the consensus estimate for the non-farm payrolls, the monthly jobs report, available, even though we know it's going to be delayed. How do economists put together their estimates if they don't have the September data to work from? I mean, are they kind of just stabbing in the dark right now?
You would be stabbing in the dark. You'd be looking at the other indicators that we do get, the ISM numbers, the ADP numbers, things like that, and trying to match them up to what's happened in previous months, with similar numbers. But it is just a shot in the dark at the moment because you don't have the October baseline. You don't have the September baseline for the October numbers. So it's kind of hard. But what's funny is I looked at that yesterday, and the consensus was for 38,000 jobs, and now it's for what, minus 20? So
yes, exactly.
It's like all these guys just piled in with the negative numbers because they think things are sounding bad. One thing I'd point out from Challenger is they say that seasonal hiring plans are the lowest since they started tracking them in 2012.
Really?
So
the robots are getting the jobs.
That could say something beyond the labor market, could talk about what retailers are thinking is going to happen.